Hi there. This is another Role Recruit Instagram video. Welcome, guys. Hope everyone's Friday is going well. Now, this time I am going to talk about 10 things you should know about your CV. Okay, this is a pretty tricky one. We get questions on this the whole entire time. CVs are important for sure, but so is your LinkedIn profile. And more important than your CV and your LinkedIn profile is that one, you're not lying, two, that they reflect each other. So one of the things that you should know, that we know, is that as soon as we receive your CV, we will look you up online and we will check the companies and we will look at your background and we will make sure that you're saying on your CV the same thing as your LinkedIn profile, because our clients will do the same thing. So the first thing you need to know is that your CV is not a standalone document. We will cross-reference it with LinkedIn for sure. Some recruiters cross-reference social media presence. We don't, but we do look at the press. So that is just to make sure that nobody's had some lurking stories about themselves. It's really, really important. So the information and your presence online, it's not confined to your CV document. So make sure everything is congruent, okay? The second thing is that people do lie on their CVs, and we know that, and we will go about doing everything we can to make sure that we are double checking the information there. So when we're doing your references, we will make sure that the job title that you have on your CV is the same job title that you had when you were working in that business. That's obviously why it's good to have that same job title on LinkedIn, because often we do find that people kind of over-represent themselves there. So just don't try to be anything that you're not. Just be really, really honest, because it's just better that way. And that's the third thing you need to know about. The fourth thing you need to know about is that Grammarly and spell checking is free, and it might just be me and maybe my legal background, but if I see a spelling error, I don't generally take that person forward. I don't have time to make a call to ask a senior candidate or even a mid-level candidate to correct spelling mistakes on their CV. Like, if the document that you feel is representing you best has errors on it, well, to me, you haven't spent the time and you're not careful enough to complete that task. And if that's a task, one of the most important tasks, and you can't do that right, well, I'm not convinced about my confidence in you to do very, very important tasks for one of my clients. And I know that sounds very hard ass, but we've been burnt so many times. I just think it's a really good marker. It's like saying, you wouldn't, as a girl, you wouldn't go to work with, if you were wearing lipstick and it was all over the place. Like, you double check your appearance, and your CV is like your online appearance. So I think that is something that really, really needs to be accurate. So grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes with me go straight to the end of the pile. And that's with the cover letters, that's with the emails people send through, that's with everything. Words are the core of communication. There's no excuses to not spell check. The same goes for layout. If you are somebody who is presenting this document as a representation of yourself, and it looks like shit basically on a piece of paper with nothing justified, with a job that you've spent 3 years doing where you've 2 bullet points, like, it's just not enough. So that's the other thing. So the other thing you need to know is we will look really, really quickly at whether or not you have visa, right to work, whether you're clear about a mission statement, and if that's not clear, that can work to your disadvantage, because there's other candidates that will have that information there, and those are really, really important. If you see a CV and you can say, okay, this person knows what they want to do, they have a right to work, and what they want to do matches the role requirements, it makes it really, really easy for us to prioritize. So we will always prioritize. So I would always encourage people on their CV to have a goal for their next role, and also to make it really clear that they have the right to work, particularly here in New Zealand. So those are some things you should know about. A lot of people send through reference letters with their CV. No need to do that, because they will be checked anyway. It's too easy these days to falsify a written reference. So we always do telephone references, and predominantly our clients will also double check that reference as well. So no need to send references along. If you are a designer of any type whatsoever and you're applying for a role, we will not consider you if you have not attached your portfolio. An online website where the link doesn't work, it just paints the wrong picture. So if you're a designer applying for a role and you've no portfolio, back of the queue. If you're a developer and you're applying for a role and you don't have a profile on GitHub, back of the queue. If you're a chief digital officer and you've got spelling and grammar mistakes in your CV, back of the queue. If you're someone whose CV doesn't match their LinkedIn profile, back of the queue. Okay, these are some really simple things that if you're not getting the traction that you want at this point in time with your job search, maybe just be really honest with yourself and see if any of these things make sense. Is your CV honest? Does your LinkedIn match your CV? Have you spell checked and grammar checked and had a designer or even a friend look across your CV to make sure that it doesn't look like crap? Do you have a mission statement or a goal statement there that states really clearly about what it is that you want to do in your next role? Is it stated that you have the rights to work, etc.? So these kinds of things. Hopefully this helps, but see if you can implement a few of those. Let me know in your comments below whether these are helpful or not, and I'll keep going. But those are the basic things that we check. There is no way at Role Recruit that a candidate is going to be in front of a client with a inappropriate goal, no rights to work, no clear references, spelling checks and grammar, and if there's any lack of congruency between their CV and LinkedIn. No chance at all. So that's a really, really good starting point, and I don't think that's confined to digital either. Thank you.